Brawlers, baby.
You're listening to the Brawlers Sports Boxing Show podcast, starring CEO Rick Mohamed and GMoney. The Brawlers Sports Boxing Show podcast.
What's going on, boxing fans? It's your boy Rick Mohamed, Brawlers Sports Media in the building. This is the Brawlers Sports Boxing Show. My associates at threekingsboxing.com, Studio 9. I got my sidekick, my main man, GMoney is with me. And today's special guest is none other than the Super Featherweight Champion himself, WBC World Champ, Oscar Valdez. What's going on, champ?
How's it going, brother? Pretty good. Happy to be here.
Oh, man, we thank you for making some time. You and your people and your handlers and the WBC, much respect. Thank you so much for coming on. I know people pulling you in all kinds of directions, so we appreciate your time, man. So let's just start off with your last fight, Robson Conceicao. So that was a hell of a fight. Many people thought it was a great fight on both sides for both of you guys. It was pretty much a close fight. Mm-hmm. A lot of the fans think that Conceicao could have got the split, or this could have went in a draw. How did you grade yourself at the end of that fight on a scale of 1 to 10? What did you think about your performance?
Without a doubt, it's my worst performance of my career. I felt I didn't feel that good as far as my performance. I wasn't too happy with myself that night. You know, it was just something was off. You know, I didn't feel like myself that day. It was a close fight. I can agree with that. You know, close fight. I personally did think I won the fight. You know, I won't say here thinking that I lost the fight. But one thing for sure, I know it was a close fight. You know, and take my hat off to Conceicao for giving it his best that night.
Yeah, that was a good analogy that most fighters won't be that honest and say, hey, you know, I was off that night. It wasn't my greatest performance. Mm-hmm. I get it. So fans got to appreciate the honesty there. You know what I mean? Moving right along into the fight, you know, I mean, you guys was exchanging some blows. And like I said, the fight was so close. You guys had your moments where you was dominating, he was dominating. It was an edgy fight. And then at the end of the fight, during the fight, the referee took a point without a warning for Conceicao, did a light tap in the back of your head. It really wasn't a big deal to take a point from the man, especially in a championship fight. You want to give both fighters the opportunity to excel and thrive for everything that they've sacrificed to be there in that moment. So he took that point. People felt that was a bad call. And then you had a moment where you kind of clipped him in the back of the head. It was a little more significant than the power behind his punch, but you didn't get a warning. You didn't get a point. And his manager, I believe, was like really up in flames over that call. And speak on that. What did you think? Was you kind of shocked that the ref didn't just warn him? And they don't have to. Keep it in mind, they're in charge of the fight. Mm-hmm. But in a championship fight, it's good business to make it fair and say, hey, that's a warning. Stop it. Stop rabbit punching. Don't hit him in the back of the head no more. What did you think?
Well, I mean, of course, every rabbit punch is dangerous. You know, as far as I can only talk about as far as what happened for me was with the punch that I threw. We make mistakes sometimes. We get the heat of the moment. We throw punches. And sometimes the fighter ducks, pulls in the head, and it might get hit. But, yeah, I mean, I was a little surprised when they took the point away. You know, being the fact that there wasn't a lot of warnings. But, you know, that's the referee right there calling the shots. You know, he does come in the dressing room, and he does warn every fighter and tells us, you know, if I think it's intentional, you know, he does have the right to take an immediate point away. So he does bring those things up there. I don't know if Robson was doing it intentionally or not, but that's the way the referee saw it, and that's the way he did it. So, I mean, like I said, I was a little shocked, but you know, I was just trying to stay focused on the fight, trying to do whatever I can to come out victorious that night.
Absolutely, yeah. It like you said, they come in the fighters each dressing room and they give them the fighters instructions, and they make you aware of, you know, hey, I have the power. I own you tonight if you don't do what I say and follow my instructions at all times. So yeah, you're right about that. Now the judges, the one judge that had a real way off margin of 117, 110. And since then, I've read something that this judge has come forth and stated that he's going to go through some more extensive training per the WBC guidelines, if you will, and that he will not take another championship judging assignment until he completes that course. I found that commendable, but at the end of the day, all everything's been done. So it's can't cry with spilled milk, but that's commendable that he felt that he needed to do that. What did you think about that score? That was a hell of a way off score, 117, 110.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't think it was that far apart. You know, I did believe the fight was way closer than that scorecard for sure. You know, being real as much realistic as I can. Like I said, you know, I can't control what the judges think. I do, like I said, I do feel like I won the fight. It was a close fight, but I felt that I was the one coming forward and trying to give the fans what they want, which was a good fight. And you know, when you got a fighter in front of you for a championship fight, you know, you have to beat the champion as far as, you know, be clear that you won. So I was giving it my best, you know, trying to give a good fights. And like I said, I can't control the judges, you know, as far as how much of a difference it was. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I can't really control that.
Yeah, I mean, you like you said, you felt like you was the aggressor. Judges grade on that as much as they do power shots, how many jabs, body shots, what's getting caught with the elbows and the gloves, things of that nature. So, you know, it puts you in the in an aggressive mode, and the judges look at that as control as well. So, and you guys had your moments, like I said, back and forth. He came forward, backed you up, and so on and so forth. But like you said, as the champ, most people would say that you would have to beat the champion profusively, knockdown, stoppage, things of that nature to really, to sway the judges into making that decision. But nonetheless, you know, it is what it is. Great performance by both of you guys. Congratulations on that win as well. Let's turn it over to my main man, GMoney. GMoney, what is it that you want to just ask the champ?
Oscar, I just wanted to know, man, for your next fight moving forward. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. On your next fight moving forward, do you plan on fighting the winner of Shakur Stevenson and Jamel Herring? Is that your plans for moving forward for a unification next fight?
Good question.
Yeah, without a doubt, that's the fight that we've been wanting. We've been wanting. Bob Burnham inclusive said after this fight, he said the winner of Jamel Herring and Shakur Stevenson by early 2022. So yeah, so the main guy said it, and he said we're offering, you know, as a champion, that's what we're supposed to do, fight the best. And I think it's time, you know. I think it's Shakur Stevenson, and you know, it's been mentioning my name a lot, and you know, it's gonna be a tough fight for both sides, a very technical fight. But I believe I see Shakur winning that fight.
Me as well. I think you said feel the same way, Jim. Yeah, we feel the same way. So that will start about 2022. Go ahead, GMoney. You freezing up?
Yeah, that was it. That was my last question, and then I was gonna.
Can't hear you.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now. Is your earpiece acting up? Oh, he dropped off.
No.
But anyway, he'll be back on. But yeah, who do you definitely would like to? It's hard to say for me to ask you who would be the easier fight, because ain't no fight's easy. Is it more Herring, or would you prefer Stevenson? Or you already said you're going with Stevenson on the edge to win that fight. So it's obviously you would like to fight Shakur Stevenson.
Well, I think they both have similar styles. They're both very complicated fighters, too. You know, I don't think none of them, either Shakur or Jamel Herring, would be an easy fight. You know, I think they got very similar styles, very technical fighters, you know, great fighters. You know, I personally like Jamel Herring as a person, as a gentleman that he is, and as a great fighter as well. You know, all that, you know, it just brings nothing but good comments to a fighter like that. But on the other hand, you got Shakur Stevenson, who I think he wants to play that role of a villain, of a bad guy, something like Floyd Mayweather, and I think he's doing that pretty well. So, you know, but I think they both have similar styles, very technical, great fighters, tall southpaws. But I just think Shakur Stevenson has that little bit more better style than Jermaine Herring. But you never know. You never know. Maybe Jermaine Herring pulls it off that night. You never know. As far as every man, is different in game night and fight night, and Jermaine Herring can pull it off.
Fights, right? Styles make
exactly.
fights.
Exactly.
Yes, absolutely. Giovanni, since you dropped off, you're back. Welcome back. You got something else you wanted to finish up with my man, the champ, Oscar.
How do you see a fight with you and Shakur playing out? Like, what do you think you would have to do to neutralize his footwork, his foot movement, all those things, the attributes that he has?
Good question.
Shakur Stevenson is a great fighter, great defensive fighter, very, very technical, uses well his reach. But I definitely would have to step the pedal and be an aggressive fighter in that fight. Not like the one I did my last fight or any of my other fights that I've had. It will definitely be a different style that I've come up front as a professional. But I think the way to beat a fighter like Shakur Stevenson is to put the pressure on him, put very smart pressure, not going in there just going crazy and throwing crazy shots, picking your shots, but always being the aggressive fighter.
Right. And you know what? I love the way you guys, all you young world champions now are coming up. When you was prospects, now you stepping up. You guys are talking mad shit. You want the best fights, like you say. You wearing a strap. It says you're the best in the world. World champion in the whole world. Give me the best fighters in the world. And that's what the fans want to see. And for you and Shakur Stevenson to face off in 2022, we just going to pick up where we left off in 2021 with the great fights that we're starting to see now, man. It's like that would be fire for you guys to open up 2022, like February, March, early spring. Oh, my God.
Yeah, definitely. It's one of the fights that, that I'm pretty sure that everybody would want to see. Everywhere I go, I get asked that question. When is Shakur's fight going to happen? When is it? So now it's like, it makes more sense now, the Shakur Stevenson fight or even a Jermaine Herring fight, at this time for sure. So, yeah, I'm definitely looking forward for that fight and let the best man win.
Right on. He's 30-0, 23 knockouts. Now, you moved up already. Do you see yourself gradually continuing to make that move with a possible Tank fight, Ryan Garcia? Let's say Gary Russell Jr. wants to come up at 130.
Yeah, I mean,
that'd be a hell of a fight.
Yeah, well, as far as Gary Russell Jr. for sure, everyone in the 130 division, that's one thing that we're gonna try to obviously defend our title as much as we can. Maybe I'm still consider myself very small, 130 to even think about moving to 135. But definitely that's in my radar as far as the future. I would love to do what my idols did. My idols were champions in different divisions, like Julio Cesar Chavez and Eddie Morales, Barrera, Marquez. All these fighters stepped up division and became world champions. So I want to do something similar as what they did. So yeah, maybe try to fight the best at 130, and who knows, maybe the next year or 2 years, 3 years, I don't know how much it will take me to kind of feel strong at 135 and take those big risks, because that's what it's all about, taking the risks and having the great fights,
giving the fans what they want. How do you how many fights as world champion now? How many fights would you try to have per year? 2, maybe? Just
I mean, I wish I could have just like 3 or 4, because the back in the days they used to fight more often. So now it's I think due because of a pandemic also, fights started closing up on fighters, But at least 2 or 3 because I'm not getting any younger. I'm 30 years old right now.
Yeah.
You don't want to take advantage of my youth.
You got that window coming up on you now in age, that 30 to 35 run,
Exactly. So I want to take advantage of my youth right now while I still feel strong. I feel good in the gym and try to stay as most active as I can. But I gotta let that to the boss, to the promoter, Bob Arum.
Absolutely. GMoney, what else you got?
That's about it for now that I got.
We got the upcoming fight. Big fight, October 9th, Wilder Fury trilogy. Who you got and why, champ?
That's going to be a great fight. I think I'm going to go with Fury on this one again. even though me and my friends hang around, and half of my friends go for Wilder and half go for Fury because it's just a great matchup. Anything can happen when you're going up against a fighter like Deontay Wilder. But Tyson Fury looked great his last fight. He looked great. He looks like he caught on to Wilder. He knows. I feel like he knows his style already. He feels more confident now. So I think I'm gonna go with Tyson Fury on this one.
And let's look back at the first two fights. For me, Wilder Fury won. Wilder Fury won. Everybody know Deontay got that one hitter quitter, that freak of nature punching power in his right hand. He dropped Fury twice. A lot of fans and a lot of critics feel like, the referee gave Fury an early Christmas present with the long count, because they felt like that should have been Wilder's win by knockout. Didn't happen. They called it a draw. They come back for the rematch. Now we got all these antics going on and people making excuses. Some people blaming Wilder's suit was too heavy. And what do you think about the fact that they're saying that Fury hasn't been a big puncher pretty much any of his career, to come back in that second fight like that and just profusely beat Wilder down the way he did, and then Wilder made allegations, we don't know how true or how untrue these allegations are, that Fury tampered with the padding in the glove, because if you play that fight back, at one point you can see the side of Wilder's head. This man's got a dent in the side of his head. What boxing gloves do that?
Yeah.
What do you think about those allegations or the theory behind that? Could this possibly have happened?
Nobody likes excuses, right? Nobody likes excuses, but I think these are factors that people should be more interested on. The fact that I do believe maybe the suit was a problem. I don't know how much it said it was weighing, if it was 20 pounds or 30 pounds. I don't remember how much it was, the suit, but
I think they said like 40 pounds.
He said something like that. So if you're wearing a suit for that long and it takes a long time to get to the ring, I do believe that can affect the fighter. You always try to, when I'm in the dressing room and you only warm up so much before you go to a fight, because you want to save that energy for the fight, especially a top competitive world class championship like they are having. So when Wilder said that, I said, wow, that could have been it. A lot of people don't like the excuses, like I said, but I think that could have played a big part in that. As far as the trainer messing with the water,
the water,
I doubt that, but you never know. But then again, I would believe more the theory as far as the suit being heavier, because me as a fighter, I know what we go through in the dressing room coming out to the fight. You always gotta save that energy for the fight, and something was off with Wilder that day. His legs didn't feel like I didn't feel like he was 100% there. So I do believe the suit could have been a problem.
If let's say if Fury did tamper with the gloves, what do you think should happen behind this? None of this should be condoned in the sport of boxing, correct?
No, nothing like that should be ever tolerable in the sport of boxing. We've seen it once with Margarito and Margarito Cotto. So Cotto, we see what we could do. Obviously, this is not like in boxing we're saying, you're not hitting a baseball, you're not throwing a basketball, you're hitting someone in the face, which could turn out to be very, very, very dangerous. Yeah. So of course, obviously that shouldn't be allowed. But you got the commission right there. So I don't believe, the gloves were messed. You always got somebody looking right there in the dressing room. But then
opposite from each dressing room, a representative is in the dressing room, because I've worked for professional fighters myself, and I've been in the dressing room to foresee the proper wrapping of the hands, the cushions and the padding is right, the tape is correct. You don't go all the way up the arm and all of that with the balls and tape.
Yeah, so I believe the odds of that happening are very slim. But like I said, if it was me pointing at something that went wrong, I would say the suit for sure.
Moving right along. Now that we're off of Wilder, I say I'm gonna go with Wilder. You're gonna go with Fury. GMoney, who you going with in that fight?
I got Wilder by KO. If it's no KO, I got Fury.
Yeah, well,
it
would be a stoppage. If it's a stoppage by somebody, I would think it's somebody like Wilder, because he has a crazy, unbelievable, powerful.
Right.
Crazy. Now we got Usyk and Anthony Joshua coming up this weekend. I say Usyk's going to give him a hell of a run for his money, but I think he bit off more than he can chew. And I think Joshua has had a taste of losing, and he didn't like it. And I think Joshua is more on point and back to being focused on his game than ever from that loss to Ruiz and having to come back and redeem himself.
And I think the same as what you just said right now. After that loss with Andy Ruiz, I don't think he's taking no chances at all. We've seen a second fight with Andy Ruiz, and he wasn't taking no chances. He wasn't in that jab, 1-2, then hugging Andy Ruiz. Didn't want to take no chances at all. Now I do see this happening to something similar, to Usyk. I can see an upset. I wouldn't be surprised if I see an upset because the same years that they went to Olympics, I went to Olympics. It was the same Olympic generation that I was with, and I remember seeing the finals every champion, every world championships that we went to, and I would always see Usyk and in the lower division, and I would always see Joshua as well. So they're great fighters. They're great fighters, very technical fighters, very strong fighters. But I could definitely see an upset. But like you just said, I feel Anthony Joshua does. He had a taste of that loss already. He doesn't want to have it anymore. So I think he's going to be a smarter fighter for sure that night. Something similar to like Klitschko. It might be a little bit boring at first, but a win is a win.
That's a good analogy, champ. GMoney, how you see that fight panning out with Joshua and Usyk?
I kind of agree. I mean, I'm not sure how I feel about Usyk being a heavyweight yet. He's had a couple of his 2 fights at heavyweight. He hasn't looked the best, but people rise to the occasion for the big fights, and I think he's capable of beating Anthony Joshua. But I think he'd have to fight a perfect fight because Joshua has so many tools and he has a lot of power. So
good point.
That's how I see
good point.
Yeah.
And before we let you get out of here, we got to talk about none other than they doing the press conference now. Canelo, Caleb Plant.
Yep.
They faced off just now, and I missed that part. GMoney said that Caleb hit him with a left hook, and Canelo answered with an overcross right. Caleb's bleeding at the press conference. He got a napkin.
Yeah.
That was dangerous because look, you could jeopardize the whole fight right now with a cut.
Yeah. I mean, I just see that, man. I'm getting pretty upset that I didn't see the face on, man. I was man, that's dangerous.
What do you I know who you got and why?
Well, for sure, and also we're teammates. That's one, but we're teammates. We're from the same country and everything. We're also friends. So I'm definitely going with Canelo, and also as a boxing without having all that, coming out as a fan, as a boxing analyst, I would say that I think Canelo has more potential of winning that fight than Plant. Don't get me wrong, Plant is a great fighter. He's a tremendous fighter. We've seen him fight before, and he's just great and talented and hard worker and everything. But in that level, the world championship levels, I think Canelo is up there. I think he's a face boxer right now, like Floyd once was, like Oscar De La Hoya was. Yeah, and I think he has everything. He has everything to beat Caleb Plant. I see him work out in the gym, and it's just crazy how he does it. He has crazy defense.
His work ethics and everything that he does, building and leading up to his fights, it's just phenomenal and crazy.
So he doesn't do nothing much but play golf, and from play golf go to the gym, and that vice versa. So he's always in the gym. He's always in the gym no matter what. So you gotta admire someone like that. As far as me, I look at that and I say, wow, he's a very, very disciplined fighter. But also his work ethic. I see him sparring some heavyweights, and I see him getting clipped, by a heavyweight, and he takes the punches like nothing. So I just look at him, and the fight that I was really surprised because I thought he was gonna have some problems was with Billy Joe Sanders. That fight, I said, there's somebody out there who could give him problems, and maybe even take will be Billy Joe. But I was surprised. I was looking at him. I was like, wow, he's doing everything that he works in the gym. He's just coming out natural.
Good footwork, everything.
Good head movement. Footwork. Counter punch. And I said, wow, I don't see a fighter in that division beating Canelo Alvarez. The one fighter who I would see that he could have some problems will be right now. I would think it was someone like Benavidez. David. Well, I think we'll give him a fight, but I still think that Canelo, wins that fight. So, he got, I've asked this question to Canelo several times. I said, hey, what do you want to do in boxing right now? Because it looks like you're wiping out everybody right now. So,
what are you gonna do? Turn light heavyweight?
And he says, there's always gonna come. Somebody's always gonna come up. Someone's always gonna come up and then raise their hand and says that he wants the next fight. So, I'm a fighter myself, but I'm also a fan of boxing. So I'm always asking these questions to myself, like, what does this fighter think? How would he win this fight? Or what does he think about this fighter? So I got the fighters in front of me.
Yeah, I'm a Canelo fan too. I'm picking him. I'm picking him to stop Plant. Plant is talented. His skill set is off the chart. He boxed really well. He boxed going backward on his back foot. He slips real well. He counter punches real well. He does everything real well. Everybody does everything real well until they get in the ring with the likes of Canelo Alvarez.
Yes. Yeah.
Until you get hit by this man to the body, on the chin, a kidney shot, a rib shot. Who are you then? Because my son said the same thing about Billy Joe Sanders. If anybody would be the one to give Canelo problems, and I wouldn't be surprised, if it's a close fight until, Canelo figured him out and caught him and messed up his orbital, and put that fight to rest. Giovanni, what's your thoughts on Plant and Canelo?
I still think Caleb Plant has a good chance to win that fight. I really do. Stylistically, I think he's going to bring a lot. He's going to bring a lot to the table that Canelo hasn't seen in a while, and with his size, I mean, Canelo has beaten a lot of tall guys at super middleweight, Callum Smith, but I just think stylistically, it's going to cause Canelo some trouble to begin with, and we'll just see what happens.
Absolutely, yeah. That's a great point right there. And what else do we got out here, dude? What is the big super mega fight that you would like to see, champ? You ain't even got to be in your weight class, a smaller guy, big guy. What's the phenomenal fight for the fans right now, other than Oscar Valdez fighting?
Me as a boxing fan, I would love to see Terence Crawford and Errol Spence. That's one fight that I would love to see. I'm sticking with my boy Terence Crawford. Yep. He's a beast, man. I gotta admire someone like Terence Crawford. He's another gym rat. He's another gym rat. He has that competitive side. I feel like I'm looking at a Jordan as far as someone who with that attitude. As far as I look at someone like Terence Crawford, and that's my immediate reaction, my immediate thoughts of him. Yeah, because he's just so competitive, athletic. All he does is he wins. He figures you out. He knows how to win.
His boxing IQ reminds you of Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah,
the way he outthinks you, and he probably doesn't even watch tape on his guys either.
And every time it looks like he's in problems, because he's been in problems before in boxing, obviously, but he just finds a solution. He finds somewhat of a solution, and he figures out a way, and he wins the fight.
He knows how to win. He knows how to win.
Yep.
While we're on Bud, let's talk about Bud Porter real quick. Who you got? It's Bud. I'm going with Bud all the way.
Yeah, but it's Bud, but it's Shawn Porter as well. If there's a fighter who, if I was a promoter or if I'm a manager, and I got my fighters, if it's Errol Spence, if it's Crawford, if it's anybody, I would not put him with Shawn Porter, because Shawn Porter,
he's a beast.
He's a beast too. He's a beast, and I think it's a lose-lose when you fight someone like Shawn Porter, because Shawn Porter, if you beat him, I feel like if Terence Crawford beats Shawn Porter, he won't get the recognition that he deserves. Because Shawn Porter, he has already a couple of losses, and it's Shawn Porter, but I feel like people don't really know that Shawn Porter is still a beast. He puts in that pressure, he makes the fights dirty. And obviously we don't want to lose. We don't want to see. I wouldn't want to see my guy lose against Shawn Porter, because Shawn Porter could beat anybody in that division. Because he just has that. He has that aggressive style, makes it dirty, and
Game.
he figures out some way to win the fight. So, you know, it's a dangerous fight for sure for Terence Crawford. If Terence Crawford beats him, you know, which I think he will.
Yeah,
I think he would have to stop him in a crazy way to people kind of like admire
give
that
him
fight.
credit, right?
Yeah, because I feel like he doesn't get that much credit, you know, that he deserves.
Absolutely, G. I know who you think. What you got to say about
Yeah.
Bud fight Porter?
Yeah, I think the same thing, man. I think Terence Crawford, I think he actually is going to stop Porter because I think Shawn's going to run into a big punch, you know, at some point in that fight.
That's what we need, champ. We just said that.
Yeah, I think Shawn's going to run into a big punch at some point in the fight, and we all know Crawford is a big finisher, and I think he'll be the first person to possibly stop Shawn. Given that Shawn is a great fighter, you know, he's tough as nails, come forward, but stylistically, I could just see that happening.
Yeah, no disrespect to Shawn Porter. Don't
Yeah,
none
He's
at
a
all.
game fighter. He's the guy. He's a spoiler alert type guy that will come in and rain on your shit and game over.
Yeah.
If you try to play him or sleep on him, don't do that. All of us.
Yeah.
Don't do that. But much respect to all those guys and everything that you guys do, man, because the fans don't understand the sacrifice that comes with the sport. Everything that you guys got to put aside and put off family, go to camps. You got to diet, eat, sleep, all of these things. They have no idea what you guys do to make the money that you guys have to make. Everything that comes with that, man. So much respect to all the professional fighters out there. If you can get in that ring and take punches and deliver them, hey, everybody can't do this sport. This isn't for everybody. So, but we're going to let you get out of here, champ. That's it for now. I don't have anything else. GMoney, do you have anything?
Nope, that's it. Thanks for coming on, champ. We appreciate it.
Anytime, brother. Anytime.
Hey, boxing fans, it's your boy Rick Mohamed, Brawlers Sports Media in the building. My associates at 3kingsboxing.com, Studio 9. We got the Super Featherweight Champ of the world, WBC Champ. Oscar Valdez was our special guest today. Man, thanks for coming in. You hit everything right on the nail, and I'm sure the fans is enjoying this.
No, man, appreciate it. You know, anytime, love to come back, man.
Much respect, and thank you for your handlers and everybody who helped make this possible, and for yourself to make that time available to us.
Got you, brother.
Let's go, champ. Till next time, baby. That's it for now. Stay safe so we can stay alive. Mask up, social distance, keep your hands clean, y'all. Let's go, champ. My man.
Brawlers, baby.